Hi everyone, welcome to another YouTube video. This video is definitely all about Monkey, dedicated to Monkey, everything that you need to know. I'm going to scoot back about Monkey is going to be all in this video, and as promised, I'm going to be showing, scoot over here. I'm going to be showing baby photos, or like photos that I have dug up or tried my best to find of Monkey over here. Listen, this is my second YouTube video and I'm still working out the kinks, so okay, you can't just leave. This is your video. Come back here. Come back here. Come back here. Come back here right now. This is your video. I was laying on my clothes, like my dirty clothes, so he'll for sure lay on this. Monkey, can you... Okay, now you sit down. Sit down. Look, it's your favorite sweater. It's worn. You love it. Okay. Okay, you ready? This is your official introduction video. I'm sure by now everyone's heard like little snippets of how I found Monkey. That's actually like the most interesting part of his story. So I'm gonna wait until the very end of this video to talk about how this little guy came into my life. 2025, Monkey turns 14 this year. He was the very first dog I've ever rescued, meaning like I picked him literally off of the street and I decided to raise him until now. He's about 11 pounds. I got his DNA tested like a long time ago. Like when I got him, it was 2011, and I got his DNA tested in around like 2015, 2016. So like the technology was not all that great. So there was only a few breeds that was chosen for him. So he's mixed with like Jack Russell Terrier, Rat Terrier, a little bit of Chihuahua, and a little bit of, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Cane Terrier, C-A-I-N-E Terrier. So he is a ball of energy. He was like around 4 to 5 weeks old. He had mange, he had worms, he had all types of like intestinal parasite. He had fleas, he had just everything, and it cost me like an arm and a leg to get him better. I don't know if anybody can relate to this, but when you are a first time, very young, very stupid pet owner, I think we can all agree that the place that you take your pet for veterinary services, Marissa, come here, is Banfield. So I took him to Banfield, which is a veterinary clinic inside of PetSmart. Banfield will rip you off, which they... Marissa, can you please come here? Which they did. They completely ripped me off, and I was in college at the time. I was working like a minimum wage job. There was a little bit of commission in it for me, but it wasn't enough to sustain my life and also my dog's life. Marissa, can you please come here and stop crying? Yeah. Come here, come here. Marissa wants to sit. Marissa wants to sit. Marissa has joined us. So basically, I found Monkey. He had all these problems. He was like 4 to 5 weeks old. I came home and I started raising him. Right now, I'm so objective about everything. Now looking back and retelling the story, I honestly should have never kept Monkey. I did not have the income or the knowledge or just anything that you can think of to be a really good pet owner, especially a pet owner to a Jack Russell Terrier mix. Like Jack Russell Terrier mix, like they need a certain type of owner. Me loving him was definitely not all that he needed, and I sorely missed the mark on socializing him. Like socialization is so important. Like I say it so much, and I like try my best to find my single puppies like a playmate. I just like hammer it in all of my videos, because I think that was one of the things I really regretted when I was raising Monkey, that I didn't give him the socialization that he deserved and that he sorely needed. Oh, I didn't know anything. I was so young, so stupid, but I tried my best, and I knew like from the moment that I rescued him that he was not going anywhere. I was never going to give him up. So that in the shelter that I do, and I stepped away from like the private rescue life, is the fact that in a shelter, you can adopt a dog so much easier than you can with like a private rescue. Like, I'll get into more detail in a different video, but if Monkey were to land in a foster program for private rescue, they would have never let me adopt him, because I was obviously, on paper, I looked like a terrible candidate. A Monkey for sure was not socialized properly. He hated people, places, and things. He hated most of my family. He barked all the time. When I say all the time, I mean he was just one of those dogs that would not stop barking. He started biting like some of my family members. Overall, like a really mean dog, mainly because I wasn't giving him the mental stimulation that he actually needed. And so he was just like taking it out on the home. He was chewing doors. He was like jumping on counters. He was just like an overall really, really bad dog. And if I can just like make a comparison on what type of dog mom I was back then, it was definitely like, my kid was right, my kid's adorable, like he'll do whatever he wanted. And that's basically how I raised Monkey. It's just awful to say. I was just like not a great pet owner, but I was committed to him. I was committed to him for his full 25 years of life. And he's turning 14 this year. He still is a huge grouch. He's still like, given the chance, he will bite a person to protect me. But he's never leaving. I even bought a home for him. You know what I mean? Monkey, what are you doing? Monkey. This is your video. Monkey is in his senior years. His health is slowly declining. His hearing is not what it used to be. It's about 60% of what it used to be. He doesn't hear me when I come home anymore. I have to go get him. He does still have a lot of his energy, which makes me and the vet really happy. Now I'm going to tell everyone the infamous story of how I found Monkey. I found Monkey myself. Like, I quite literally picked him out of a trash can and brought him home. How I got to that trash can is a whole story on its own. When I found Monkey, I was working at the mall. I worked at the Galleria. I worked at Galleria 2 to be exact. And my coworker and also friend at that point in time, let's give her a name, let's call her Allison. She meets this guy, like one of our regular customers at our shop where we worked. I need to give him a name. Let's name him Brett. We're gonna call him Brett. So one day, Alice and I were working. This was like a couple of months after they started dating. She came up to me and she's like, hey, I think Brett is cheating on me. Can I borrow your car to follow him after our shift? Oh, and did you want to come with me? Because I'll be bored. And I was like, well, I mean, I don't really have anything else to do, so I guess. And if you're wondering why she didn't take her own car, it's because she drove one of those Mustangs that had like those long stripes like down the middle. So it was definitely like very, very noticeable. And I didn't really care that she drove my car. Like, my car was like POS and it was also on its last leg. So I was like, all right. We started following him. First, we started at his high rise because she called him. She was just like, hey, do you want to go watch a movie after my shift? And he was like, no, I have this appointment at this time. And so in her mind, she was like, that's partially true. Like, he's just throwing a time out there, but that's when he'll be leaving to go somewhere. And so we parked at his high rise and we waited for him to go somewhere. Like, she checked to see if his car was still parked in the parking space, and it was. So we waited and we waited and we waited for like 3 hours, right? And then he finally leaves the parking garage. So we started following him in my car. We followed him out of Houston to a mobile home area in Baytown, Texas. And then we couldn't tail him in my car anymore, so we parked and then we got on foot and we started following him on foot. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever followed a man somewhere. Like, you have to eventually like get out of your car and walk, because like you can only go so far with your car. But anyways, so what we're doing right now is we're following him, but like we're basically hopping and hiding behind like mobile home to mobile home to mobile home. Like we're just like that. So we get to this one mobile home, and I hear like, we both hear like crying coming from this dumpster, like a giant dumpster, the ones that you leave at the end of your street, so, or like the end of your driveway, so the garbage guy can come and dump your trash. But we hear crying, and so we open up the dumpster, and it was Monkey in there. He was like this big. He was sitting on a blanket inside of a cardboard box, and next to that box was just like a bunch of, it was complete crap, like trash basically. It's like they dumped him, and then they like haphazardly like went back and just like put more shit in there. So we pulled him out. He had a collar, and it said Monkey. So I actually didn't give him the name. And this was August in Texas. So that dumpster had to have been like 97, 98 degrees in there. Like it's very hot here in August, and the days are so long. And when we were following Allison's boyfriend, like our shift was the morning shift. So when we got out and we waited, we were just following him in broad daylight. So when I found Monkey, like he was crying because it was so hot. Like that garbage can had to have been 100 and something degrees. So I took him out. He was crying, and like I just held him like in this box. I was just like, hey, I'm just gonna take him with me. Like when we're done here, like I'm just gonna take him to the vet. And Allison, she's like a huge animal lover. She was just like, you know what, fuck this. We can follow him another day. Let's just take him to the vet because I don't want this dog to die. Okay, Monkey left. He was kind of done with this video anyway, so I'm just gonna finish the cheating story and end this video. I found Monkey. Everything was good for me, at least, and we ended up following Brett like in my car, like the same way that we did when I found Monkey, like 3 more times. Every single time it was unsuccessful. After a few months of Allison deciding that she was just going to stop stalking her boyfriend all around town in my car, this girl walks into our store and asks for Allison, like, hey, does a girl named Allison work here? And we were like, yeah, she's over there. That's the girl that he was actually cheating on Allison with. Actually, no, you know what? I take that back. Allison was actually the side piece because she had been dating Brett for like over 2 years, and she knew that something was going on because he was just saying, like, he was giving her all of these like weird excuses. That's basically it. That's like the complete unabridged version of how I found Monkey. I'm obviously so grateful to have him. He's my first dog. He's my favorite dog. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to end these YouTube videos. So for now, I'm just gonna leave. Like, we're just gonna go. A lot of people end with like and subscribe to my page, but I don't want to say that. So I'm just gonna leave the frame. Leaving.